Hello and welcome to another Tier Maker special on the Football History Boys YouTube channel. Today we are looking once more at Euro 2024, but in particular we're going back in history to take a look at all the winners of the European Championships from 1960 all the way to 2020.
Love it.
Before we find out who wins this tournament in 2024. We have 5 categories to rate these teams. We have the GOAT for the one nation or one team we think is the best to win it. Then outstanding, good, underrated, and finally surprise. Those teams that maybe shouldn't have won it, but they did. Mm-hmm. They surprised the world by winning. Let's start them in 1960 with the USSR. Decent team here. This is Lev Yashin's USSR.
Yes.
So just saying his name says, they've got some decent players.
Yeah.
This is, state-sponsored football. This is...
working. State-sponsored football working.
Yeah. And this team, and we said it on another video, they qualified for the 64 and 68 as well. So they qualified for the first 3 tournaments. And there's only 4 teams qualifying at this point. So they have a good run. They do, it's 1966 World Cup. They're there as well. They all seem to be there or thereabouts, this team. They lose the final of the next one. What are we thinking?
Well, I think that shows they've got that longevity there. Some of the players carry over, not all of them, of course, but certainly the USSR, whilst they never pulled up any trees on the world stage, in Europe...
In football.
Yeah. They very much pulled up trees.
Put up a few trees.
They very much pulled up trees.
Put up some walls as well.
On a football pitch for the European Championships, obviously not called that then, but the European Championships at this period, you have to respect them as a really, really good side. I think they're good.
They're going good.
I think they're good.
Cool. Spain 64. It's like a revenge story, this one. They don't go to the quarterfinals in 1960 because they don't want to play against the Soviet Union through fear of losing to a communist team. But then they do have to play them in the final 4 years later at the Bernabeu.
They're hosting it, aren't they?
They host it, yeah. And they win it 2-1 from a late goal. This is the team where I think Luis Suarez is the main man of
Not
this
that
team.
one.
Not the Uruguayan one, of course. Luis Suarez, I think he played for Barcelona, didn't he? And Inter Milan, outstanding player in a decent side. They have to be pretty good if they beat that Soviet Union side.
Yeah.
Do they go in good or underrated?
I think they could be underrated by some people's category. I think people would not talk about these as a legendary side. Obviously, even maybe the Spanish in some ways, and they were a good side.
They'll talk about USSR because it was the first one. Yeah. And they might forget this one. Yeah, let's put it there. Right, 68 then. This is Italy. This is, good side. They got Facchetti in defence. You got Luigi Riva up top. You got Gianni Rivera. Really good. Yeah, solid players who got to the final then of the World Cup 2 years later as well, losing to Brazil, of course, in that famous final. I think this has got to be another good team as well.
I think so.
They're pretty respected.
I think you can't underrate this team really, and certainly again Italians wouldn't. They'd remember them as a great side.
Cool. Right. 72 West Germany. This is the Beckenbauer.
This is the start of their rise, isn't it?
This is Beckenbauer when he's now captain of the team. Yeah. He wasn't captain in 70 or 66, but now he is.
Yeah.
This is a really good side, I think. This is Sepp Maier, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Gerd Müller.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on, really. Bertie Vogts. It's good. I can name him players off the top of my head now. But they've got to be up there, haven't they, as well? Because then they win the final of the World Cup 2 years later. They get to the final of the next Euros. And then going on, they win the Euros in 80, but it's probably not the same team by then.
In the 70s, they were an outstanding side. Are they at that point yet? Possibly so, because actually they've been rising from, 66 they go deep, as you said, Beckenbauer first showing up then. By 72 they've built into certainly a good side, definitely good, perhaps into the outstanding. Or are they underrated for actually how good they maybe were and now we remember them so?
Yeah, underrated.
Okay.
I like that. 76, Czechoslovakia. Now we said in the previous video ranking all the different European nations. Do Slovakia get the same as Czech Republic?
Don't we?
And they should. I think most players in the team are from Slovakia, if you didn't realise.
I think they said 7 in the starting 11.
Yeah, so
the commenter.
This is a good team. They beat this is a strong Euros. They have to get Netherlands, West Germany, as well. Some decent teams there, Yugoslavia. They do well. They win it. Panenka scores the winner.
Yeah.
They probably haven't got as many memorable names as anyone else, really, other than him.
No.
Do they go underrated?
I think they could go in underrated because maybe they're only rated in...
Or was it a surprise?
Well, was it a surprise at the time, them getting this far?
I'm not sure, because they didn't... You don't hear about much... You don't hear any really... 74.
This is sort of a one-off.
72. 78.
Okay.
They're not really there, are they?
Yeah, let's stick them in the surprise then.
Go on, let's pop them in there.
Because I think they were a bit of a surprise sort of in 2004 when they did quite well again, hasn't there? There's a couple of times where they are good side, but not expecting it. You don't expect, unless you're from Czechia or Slovakia, for them to do that well, maybe.
Okay, pop them there. Maybe that's right, but I'll go with that. Right, Euro 80, another West Germany win. 8 years on for the one before. This is the Karl-Heinz Rummenigge and all those players as well. This is a decent side. Breitner. Yeah. What are you thinking?
Maybe not as good as the side that they were in 72 and 74. They still win it, obviously a good side. But maybe good only.
Yeah. Let's put them in good. Okay, well, I've got my Germans mixed up, so let's just mix it up. So they go in there and they go in there. Okay, right, let's go with Euro 84. This is the French team. There's a recent book has been released about this team, how great they are, and sort of the memories of them. This is the Jean Tigana, I think. Platini. This is a really, really excellent side. I think this goes in outstanding.
Yeah, I think so too. You can only hear people say good things about this side. Maybe we forget how good they were in the 80s, and certainly this side was quality.
Yeah, shame obviously 86 they don't win it or anything like that. But 86 as a tournament has some fantastically strong teams, isn't it? Let's go on to 88 then. This is the Netherlands side coached by Rinus Michels. It features your Hullets, your Rijkaards, your Van Bastens. It is a very good team. I think it goes in outstanding as well.
I think it has to go in outstanding. This is Netherlands finally getting over the line, as we've said again in previous videos. They come so close. 74 they lose. 78 they lose in the final. They do it in the Euros in 88.
Yeah, I think they're a good team. They have such cult status. That kit is so memorable, isn't it? Everyone says one of the best kits ever.
We need to add that to the collection, actually.
We do. If you have one, send it over. Yeah. Right, let's go on to Euro 92. Denmark. I think we know where this is going to go. Denmark, who didn't qualify.
Yeah. Go on and win the tournament.
Some decent players in the team who, you got your, obviously, just Brian Laudrup, because Michael Laudrup didn't want to go.
Yeah.
Peter Schmeichel in goals. You got your John Jensen, who got a move to Arsenal straight after. It's not bad.
No.
But I think it has to go in surprise.
Of course it is. Probably one of the biggest surprises
in football history.
Yeah.
It's up there with your Leicester, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It's very similar. If you want to compare it, if you're a younger viewer, it's definitely like a Leicester in the league. Yeah.
Yeah, quite nice, evenly spread there so far.
Yeah.
Right, let's go on to Euro 96. This is another winner for Germany. Another good team. Beat the host England in the semi-finals. Beat Czech Republic on golden goal in the final. Oliver Bierhoff scoring the winner. Not a bad side though. You got I'm just looking at the picture here. You got your Matthias Sammer was actually the player of the tournament. He was a fantastic player at the time. I think he won a Ballon d'Or as well. He won the Champions League the year after with Dortmund. Andreas Moller, remember him scoring and doing this in front of the England fans, and all this kind of posturing. It's a good team. Christian Ziege is in there as well. What are we thinking? Is this good? Do they just like it?
I think they're just a solid, good team. They nearly lose it to England, don't they? And that England team, whilst we're decent, we're not outstanding. They need penalties to beat them, as it's the Germans do it on penalties again against the English. I think it's a good team.
Yeah. Okay. Right, Euro 2000. This is France, 2 years after their World Cup win.
Good side.
This is a really good team.
Good side.
This is Zidane. This is Henry.
Yeah.
Deschamps, Perez, Vieira, Wiltord, Trezeguet, Barthez, Blanc. It's like I'm just reading off players off the top of my head because they're so memorable and ingrained in my sort of memory of football, my earliest memories of football.
And a phenomenal win in 98.
Yes.
This side is probably better in terms of they're 2 years more developed, aren't they?
Yeah, and they do it on 98 on home soil.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, that they're just over the border in Belgium and the Netherlands. But it is does make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And they actually lost the game. They lost to Netherlands, but they in the groups. But they come back and they win it all with that golden goal from Trezeguet.
I think some would argue GOAT. I think for me it's outstanding. I think some would push it and say this could be the greatest side of all time.
Let's put it in outstanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Year 2004. This is probably the moment that I realised that football wasn't a done thing. Or growing up in the sort of 90s, early 2000s, it was, you always knew, Premier League wise, Man United to win the league, and if not Man United, Arsenal win it.
Yeah.
In the cups, Arsenal will win the FA Cup.
Yeah.
The Champions League, your classic, Real Madrid's, AC Milan's, they'll win it. One of those. Year 2004, we're all thinking, France will win this one again. Or Spain have got a good team, they're all usually right. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Greece win the tournament. I'm thinking, what? This is amazing. The underdogs is a thing.
Yeah.
And even in this world that is full of money, and we're reading magazines as kids, it's all about these players and the bling they got on, and the money they're earning. All of a sudden, this Greek side have won the Euros.
Yeah. As 11-year-olds, not just who are Greece, probably even where is Greece, to an extent. For a lot of people of our generation, I think it was totally shocking because you couldn't name any of the players. Obviously now we can,
and they got massive long names.
Yeah, but now you can, but you couldn't at the time. You're like, who the heck are these people?
And you find yourself being able to spell Stelios Yiannakopoulos really easily.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking this player is great.
Going
Zagorakis and Nikopolidis.
Greek restaurants in Cardiff. There's one in Cardiff that is lovely. We talked about it the other day actually. Good Greek restaurant. Hellenic. Shout them out. Hi on Cruise Road.
We've got a free gyros for us.
Yeah, we'd absolutely take that sponsorship. But they've dedicated a part of their shop to 2004. Euro 2004.
Oh, nice.
Cut it signed. Pictures with the players at the time. I had a massive conversation with the restaurant holder there and just talking about that side and being like, oh my gosh, and he was saying, like we've said about 2016 for us, best summer of his life. I can imagine it was, because it was totally out of nowhere. It is absolutely one of the best surprises, alongside Denmark.
They beat Portugal twice.
Yeah.
They beat that really good Czech Republic side. They beat France. They beat good teams to get there.
Yeah.
But they have to go as a surprise.
Yeah.
Because it is the ultimate surprise, probably. Right, Euro 2008. This is the birth of Tiki Taka as Spain. Were always like the bridesmaids, weren't they? Never the bride, wasn't it? Yeah. They always had a great team. And before each tournament, people go, I think Spain might win this. That surprise everyone. And they'd always flop or go out in the quarterfinals. This time though, they actually won it, and they won it playing the best football we'd ever seen at this point. Yeah. It was amazing. Totally dismantling sides, beating Germany in the final. That Torres goal. This is when I can really start. I can just name all the players, pretty much the whole squad.
Yeah.
Luis Aragonés, the manager this time, not Vicente Del Bosque like people think.
Yeah.
It was him, and he introduces the style of play, which then becomes the Spanish philosophy of football.
Yeah, absolutely. Known as the wise man of Portugalete, and he was like a wise man, a guiding light for Spanish football in the 2000s. That he's taken over by Del Bosque and obviously Guardiola domestically and things like that. They point to him as this guy who revolutionised it in Spain. And I loved this side. You could not love this side. I mean, Spanish people are cool anyway. Spanish footballers were cool. And this was really, and like we've said again on previous videos, about maybe this tournament was a little bit underrated in our heads because there was no British representation. And that affects how we consumed it here on TV.
Yeah.
You cannot forget how good this Spain side were.
No, I think they're outstanding, aren't they?
Outstanding. I think they are.
They could be GOAT.
I think they're outstanding. I think they may be challenged for that top spot by this next side.
So the next side is Spain again. Now, we had a little debate before we started the video.
Yeah.
You said 2008 was the GOAT.
I loved Spain.
I said 2012 is the GOAT. In my head, 2012, they're the same players, just 4 years better.
Okay.
And they've won a World Cup in the middle
in between,
of it.
Yeah. This is the. Is this someone on the way down? Possibly, maybe.
I think the way they played in this tournament did not show they were on the way down. Yeah. The final win 4-0 against Italy was probably the best performance I've ever seen.
And Italy team quality
in a final. Yeah. Italy had big quality. That's the thing. Yeah. They had a great side. But I posted on Twitter recently. The midfield of Spain has told me. I'll read them out to you now. So we got Xavi, Iniesta. I mean, just 2 names there. You look well.
Yeah.
Busquets, Xabi Alonso.
So 3 from the best side of all time, possibly. Club side.
Xabi Alonso, David Silva, Juan Mata, Santi Cazorla, Javi Martinez, and there's one more I haven't named. But just those 8 names alone would fit in any other team that tournaments. They go straight into that midfield.
Yeah.
Of Fabregas.
Of course,
he played because he played as a false 9.
Yeah.
I think this was I think this is the go.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I can absolutely give it with you.
Have I given you a good enough?
Yeah, I think you have. But it was between those 2 Spain sides for me. 2008 I loved because they burst onto the scene in terms of our consciousness of how good they were. You're right, I think they've perfected it in 4 years' time. It's now Del Bosque. To be a side that wins Euro 2008, World Cup 2010, World Cup Euros 2012, that is not easily done.
No.
That is not easily done to win 3 back-to-back tournaments, effectively in tournament football, not lose when it matters for 3 tournaments in a row.
It's mental, isn't it?
And so my only knock is that maybe by this point we're a little bit more tired of tiki-taka in some ways.
Yeah.
100%. Or the response to it. The response to tiki-taka, how you beat tiki-taka, led to sides being very, very cagey, and therefore, tying it back to sort of Catenaccio type football at times. Mourinho, like he does against Guardiola for Real Madrid, Barcelona.
And I think that's what people expect them in the final. But they came out and I think they changed it a little bit. And they just... Right.
And I remember it again vividly, watching it in my lounge and being like, this is amazing.
I watched it in Spain. It was brilliant.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tenerife. Right. Euro 2016. I would argue this is the worst team to ever win the Euros. Not just because they beat Wales in the semis.
Not just because they can send Cristiano
I'm
Ronaldo.
not really bitter. But I think even they might say, this was Portugal beyond their golden generation. The golden generation was kind of done 2010-12. This is quite an aging squad. You got some young players, but you have, Ronaldo's. He's not young there, is he? He's probably about just into his 30s. Pepe, all those players now. I think Font won it, didn't he?
Yeah. Jose Font for Southampton. Yeah.
It is good. They obviously win it, but they didn't win any games in the groups. They drew every game.
They nearly went out. They only stayed in the tournament because of the fact that it was an expanded tournament and 3 teams went through. And so they were there as one of the best third-place runners-up.
Then they won an extra time. Then they won on penalties. Then they beat Wales, normally. Yeah. And then they beat France in extra time.
And Adair wins the score.
Great strike.
It was a great strike, lovely strike. But, you will never, ever be able to, in 10, 20 years' time, other than if you actually love football, be able to just conjure that name
up. And to be honest, they probably should have saved it at Lloris. But I think he was so surprised that Adair had shot from there. By the time you start probably thinking, he's going miles over the bar. Yeah. He shoots it and he reacts so late, he goes in.
It's a man who played for Swansea City,
Oh, maybe that makes him quite good then. Right.
I think for me they are a surprise because of how
he did it.
Ropey they did it. Yeah, really.
Yes, I think they have a better team now.
And fair play to them. They're flipping one of the Euros. You can't knock that, and they did beat Wales in normal time. But I think it's a surprise.
We didn't have Rams jug Ben Davis, right? And finally, Euro 2020 played 2021. Italy. Now, this is interesting. Italy didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup. They didn't qualify for the 2022 World Cup.
No.
But they qualified for the Euros and they won it. And they did play good football. I remember being quite into this team. Mancini manager, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Got your old boys, your Bonucci and Chiellini in defence. Then you had Immobile up top. Chiesa was amazing, wasn't he? Spinazzola at left back was revolutionary at the time.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
They also beat England in the final, the host pretty much of that final. On penalties, Donnarumma in goal was outstanding. But they have no real legacy from it. It's kind of like...
No, not at all.
Oh, that's them. Like, Portugal win in 2016, but then they do go to 2018 World Cup and they have some massive moments. You think about the Spain game with 3-3. They qualify for the next one and the World Cup, and they're always there. Yeah. Italy, it's just on their own, but it was a decent side.
It was a decent side. I think it's really hard to place. I think you're right about the legacy that Spinazzola was supposed to be a massive thing and didn't turn out to be. Chiesa is decent, but he didn't go on to be one of the best wide players in the world that lots of people thought he would on the back of that tournament. Immobile up front, coming towards the end of his career, really, than anything. He's not one of the most
same with him, isn't it?
prolific goal scorers of all time. He's not. This is in some ways, a surprise because of the fact they don't qualify tournament either side. But I think at the time they were a very good side to watch. You're right too. I think they were good. Obviously, they win it on penalties too, which does sort of, I suppose, take away from mind-blowing football that you remember of the final.
Yeah,
they struggled to get through the semi-finals as well against Spain, wasn't it? It was tight. Then blown away.
Yes, it was a good game though. Right, good.
I think. Oh, this is a really hard one to do. Stick with good.
I don't not underrated.
No, because they're not. They're not brilliant.
And they're also too
They're good.
recent.
They won the tournament. They're good.
Okay, right. That is our final.
Yes.
Tier maker list. We have Spain 2012 as the GOAT. Then going down to outstanding, we have France 84, Netherlands 88, France 2000, and Spain 2008. And then our final category down in the surprise: Czechoslovakia, Denmark, Greece, and Portugal. What do you guys think? Let us know which ones we got wrong. Which ones do you think should be higher or lower? Who do you think is the greatest European Championship team of all time, winning team of all time? And let us know in the comments who you think is going to win this tournament as well. And then hopefully, in 4 years' time, we might do this again with the new team added in as well. Anything else?
No, I think this has made me really excited for the Euros, actually, talking like this.
I'm buzzing now.
We've done a lot of Euros content, so do check out the channel and catch up on some of our Euros.
Loads on there. Check out our predictions as well throughout the tournament. See if we can. Right, maybe we'll do a midway of the year's tournament and see what we think. Yeah? Fab. Right, we'll see you again for the next one very soon.